Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. You know the drill, right? Yes, I'm supposed to say you can't have a happy Wednesday because you missed your teachers. All right. Sorry about that. Forgot. Okay. We miss you too. Copy this down. Go try these problems. See how you do. And then come back and see how you did. Okay. Let me give you a hint real quick. Okay. Well, first, we have to write an equation. Remember, an equation has an equal sign for these. So if this line is 20 inches long, and this is x plus 1.2 plus x plus 1.2, if I put all those x's together, I end up having 4 times x, right? Now I have plus 1.2 and 1.2, and if you go add those off, remember, stack them, line up the decimal, you get 2.4. So 4 times x plus 2.4 equals 20 inches. Okay. Now you try this one. Okay. You're going to write the equation for the perimeter. You have the total. You have a couple of things here to put together. You write the equation, and then you're going to solve for a here, and you'll solve for x here. I'm going to have to do that on the back. Okay. All right. Good luck. Okay, welcome back. 49 and 14. What two numbers have a product of 49? A sum of 14. That's a couple of sevens, right? 7 times 7, 7 plus 7. About 3.5, 5.7. Well, how about 5 and 7/10, right? When I go add those, the decimal here would be, right? So remember, 5 is the same as $5. So I can add a decimal if I want to. And if I line up those decimals and add, I do get to 5.7. When I multiply, I go 7 times 5 is 35. But that was already a whole number. I had to move the decimal over one spot to pretend this was a whole number. So I have to go back one spot in my answer. Okay. 36 ten-thousandths and 409 thousandths. 4 tenths and 9 thousandths. When I go add those, you can see I'm going to have a 4 in the tens place and 9 in the thousandths. So 409. When I multiply, 4 times 9 is 36. I had to go one spot over here to pretend that was a 4. I had to go over 3 spots to pretend that was a 9. So that's a total of 4 spots. I got to go back 4 spots to put the decimal and then fill in the egg carton, right? All right, 4 and 6/7, 4 and 2/7. What works there? 3 times 1 and 2/7. All right, 3 ones is 3. 3. That's supposed to be 3 and 6/7, isn't it? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry about that. All right. 3 and 6/7. All right. I'll have to put that in the directions. And then 3 plus 1 and 2/7 is 4 and 2/7. See what happens when you rush, guys. All right. What is the equation here? I have a plus a, which is the same as 2 times a, plus 11 and 1/3, and 11 1/3 is 22 and 2/3. And that is a total of 29. Okay, so let's write those on the back. 4x plus 2.4 equals 20. I'm going to write x times 4 plus 2.4 equals 20. And on this one, I have 2a. I'm going to write a times 2 plus 22 and 2/3. A times 2 plus 22 and 2/3 equals 29. Okay, now what's my goal? Hopefully you said isolate the variable. So I want the x isolated all by himself on one side of the equal sign. Now what would that give me? That will give me an answer, right? I want the a isolated all by himself on an island. Okay, so and again, you go in reverse order of operations when you get rid of stuff. So I'm going to get rid of the adding and subtracting first. So I have the x times 4 plus 2 and 4/10. I want to get rid of that plus 2 and 4/10. How do you do that? You do what's called the inverse operation, which is the opposite. What's the opposite of plus 2 and 4/10? Minus 2 and 4/10. But I had an equation. It was in perfect balance. If I just subtract 2 and 4/10 from that side, it will no longer be in perfect balance. So don't forget, you have to Do the same thing to the other side, right? If I subtract 2 4/10 from that side, I have to do it from this side. Now that stays in balance. That's allowed. But these two things are opposites. They cancel each other out, right? So all that's left over here is x times 4. On this side, I have 20 minus 2 4/10. Now 20, if I had to put a decimal, is going to go there, right? So when I line up the decimal to subtract, I get something that looks a little weird until I add that 0. Okay, now I know I got to borrow. That 20 becomes 19, and now I have 10/10. I can take away 4/10. And 19 minus 2. So I have x times 4 equals 17 6/10. Now, how do I get rid of that times 4? What is the inverse operation or opposite of times 4? Divided by 4. And if I do it to that side, do the same thing to the other side, right? Got to keep things in balance. Okay, now these cancel each other out because times 4 and divided by 4 are opposites. All I have now is to figure out what is 17.6 divided by 4. And remember the 17.6, the first number goes in the box. And now I'm saying, how many times is 4 going to 17? That decimal comes straight up. That's all you got to do. When you got a decimal inside the box, don't worry about it. Just bring it up. Now 4 goes into 17 4 times. And 4 times 4 is 16. And you guys are you're reviewing this long division, right? Okay, watch that Math Antics video. Now I'm going to subtract. What do I do now? Bring down the next number. And how many times does 4 fit into 16? Perfect fit, right? 4 times 4 is 16. No remainder. So x equals 4 4/10. Are you done? No. Okay, if x equals 4 4/10, I should be able to substitute 4 4/10 in for x and rewrite my problem 4 4/10 times 4 plus 2 4/10 should equal 20. Now, 4 4/10 times 4, pretend like there's no decimal, multiply. 16 and 16 and 1, 176, right? But that was 4 4/10, so I have to move it over 1. 17.6 plus 2.4 should equal 20. 2.4, 10, carry the 1. 1, 8, and 2 is 10, carry the 1. 20.0 is 20. Boom. Now you can say you did it. All right. Solving this one, I have to get rid of a plus 22 2/3. How do you get rid of a plus 22 2/3? Well, what's the opposite? Hopefully you said the inverse operation, right? Use that math vocab, is the opposite. And the opposite of plus 22 2/3 is minus 22 2/3. Do that to both sides. They cancel out on this side. All that's left over here is a times 2. Now over here, I have to subtract 29 minus 22 2/3. There's no thirds up there. The most popular wrong answer for this, 7 2/3. I'm trying to take 2/3 away from something. I can't just bring it down. I got to get some thirds up here. How about 28 3/3? That's the same as 29, right? 3/3 minus 2/3 is 1/3. 28 minus 22 is 6. 6 1/3. Now, how do I get rid of a times 2? Divided by 2. Okay, and do it to that side. Got to do it to this side. Okay, they cancel out over there. I end up with 6 1/3 divided by 2. Cut it in half. All right, I got 6 pizzas and 1/3 of a pizza. Okay, I'm going to cut it in half, right? I got 3 pizzas, and what's half of a third? 1/6. 3 1/6. Okay, and if I go back and double check, 3 1/6 times 2 is 6 2/6, or 6 2/3. 6 2/3 plus 22 6 1/3 plus 22 2/3 equals 28 3/3, which is, boom, 29. All right, let's keep cruising. 0.23, make that a percent. Just move it over two spots. 23%. And 23 hundredths is also known as 23 hundredths. Okay, write that in words. 19%, move it over two spots this way, is 0.19, which is also known as 19 hundredths, which is 19 hundredths, right? Hundredths, right? Remember THS. Anything to the right of the decimal is going to end in THS. This is 23 hundredths. This is 19 hundredths. You're going to spell it the same way. 17/25. Please write that. I'm going to go over here. Now, on this one, I have to divide the bottom into the top. How many times is 25 going to 17? It won't fit. It'll never fit unless it's an improper fraction. But I'm trying to make a decimal anyway, so add a decimal to 0. Now, quarters. 25, 50, 75, 1, 25, 120, 150, 175 is too much, so I'm going 6 times. And 6 times 25 is 150. What do I do now? Add a 0, and 25 goes into $2 8 times. Okay, so this is going to be 0.68. And to make that a percent, just move it 2 spots to the right, 68%. Okay, you're going to write it in words. 11 plus 12 gets me halfway around for the perimeter. That's 23. When I double that, 23 doubled is 46. So the perimeter is 46. 8 plus 10 is 18, plus 12 is 30, plus 8 tenths, 30 8 tenths is the perimeter. 6 plus 13, another 6, another 13. 19 doubled, 38. Now, I don't care about this out here. That's not part of my fence around this, right? For the perimeter, building a fence around it. 8.3 and 18 and 22. I'm going to put these together first because they fit together well. What's that called in math when things fit together well? Compatible. Why? 18 and 22 make a nice even 40. All right, 40 and 8.3 is 48.3. Okay, now the perimeter was easy. You're just adding up the distance all around. I don't care about that 7 because that's not around the outside. Now, when you're getting area, remember you're always looking for those lines that make a right angle. For a parallelogram, you're looking for the base times the height, right? Parallelogram. We draw a parallelogram, right? A equals B times H. Base times height. The base is how wide is this down here? Well, that's 12. This is 12. So I'm going 12 times 10 equals 120 square meters. To this other parallelogram. How wide is it down here? 6. How tall is it? 9. Base times the height, 6 times 9. Area, 54 square centimeters. Okay, now how does that work? Well, remember, if I chopped off this triangle, because this angle is the same as this angle, I could slide it over and make a rectangle. And the rectangle is, how wide is it times how tall is it? That's 12 times 10. Now, for a triangle, remember, how do I make a rectangle out of that? I double it. Okay, I know how to get the area of this rectangle. It's this times this. 8 times 10 is 80. But that's the rectangle, which is 2 of these triangles. I need, the area is 1/2 of the base times the height. 1/2 of 80 is 40. 1/2 of 8 is 4 times 10 is 40. 1/2 of 10 is 5 times 8 is 40. All 3 ways. It doesn't matter the order you go. And that is square units, square inches. How about this one? I don't care about this or this. I care how wide it is times how tall. Remember the 2 lines that make the right angle. So I'm going 1/2 of 7 times 22. Why half? Because if I clone that triangle, I would make a parallelogram when I put the 2 together. And I know the parallelogram area is the base times the height, but that's 2 of these, so I have to take half. Now I could do 7 times 22, get 154, right? But you know what's easy? Easier than getting 154 than dividing it by 2. It's just, since this is even, let's take half of that and multiply by 7. What's half of 22? 11. And 11 times 7, 77, and my units are square feet. Okay. Hopefully you did well on that. Slow it down, check it. Okay. And sorry about that diamond. Bad, Mr. Daniel. Bad. All right. Have